Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And in this episode, we're going to hop back in our mint-flavored time machine back to the year 1980, where we're going to talk about one of the most terrifying films ever, one of director Stanley Kubrick's most popular films. Here's Wesley, because my review of the 1980 horror film, The Shining, coming up now. Jack Torrance, a frustrated writer and recovering alcoholic, takes a job to be the winter caretaker at the Overlook Hotel in the Colorado Rockies. The hotel, which opened in 1909 and was built on a Native American burial ground, is closed from October to May due to the establishment being snowed in, with the closest town being 25 miles away. The Overlook has a sad and violent history, as the former caretaker developed cabin fever and ended up killing his family and himself. Along with his wife, Wendy, and his young son, Danny, Jack moves into the hotel and, along with the work, plans to use his spare time for writing. While at the hotel, Danny strikes up a friendship with the hotel chef, Dick Halloran, who begins discovering that he and Danny share the same telepathic ability, which he calls The Shining, and he begins seeing ghosts of former guests at the hotel. Danny is not the only one seeing the spirits, however, as Jack begins interacting with some of the Overlook's formerly alive guests and employees. Jack slowly starts to lose his sanity, becoming unhinged, and wants to make his wife and son pay. The Shining is a phenomenal and creepy horror classic. The film is an adaptation of the 1977 Stephen King novel of the same name. Of course, it's well known that the movie strays far from the book, and King famously was disappointed with it, calling it a bad adaptation of his story. Stanley Kubrick, who was known for successes such as A Clockwork Orange, Dr. Strangelove, and 2001: A Space Odyssey, directed the film and did a fantastic job that remains to be considered one of his best works. Here he was one of the first directors to use a Steadicam for stabilized and fluid tracking shots. The Shining opened in the United States on May 23, 1980, and the UK on October 2, 1980. While initial reactions to the film were mixed by both critics and audience members, over the years, feelings towards the movie have become much more favorable. It's become such a staple of pop culture that even if you've never seen The Shining, you've almost had to have come across a reference of it somewhere, as it's parodied or homaged in so many different other movies or television shows over the years. I love that the film starts out showing some beautiful scenery in the main titles and showcases the beautiful and grand parts of the hotel, such as the grand ballroom, making it look like a dream destination. Soon, though, we see the beauty of the hotel begin to fade, and soon things that look like a treat for the eyes becomes bizarre. The setting of the hotel sets up some great spooky atmosphere as well. Instead of cheap jump scares, the film slowly builds things up with effective terror and tension, as Jack slowly turns from a jerk all the way to a crazy psychopath. There's a lot of creepy, disgusting, and terrifying random visuals throughout the movie, from the naked woman who's not all she seems in room 237, to the room with the man and someone dressed up in a bear costume looking to get things on. There's a vast number of iconic scenes throughout the film, from Danny riding his tricycle through the many long hallways of the hotel and seeing the two twin little girl spirits in different parts of the resort, the visuals of blood flowing out of the elevator doors, all of the papers that Jack's typed up reading all of the same thing, and of course one of the most famous cinema scenes of all time, where Jack chases his family through the hotel with an axe and tries to break down the door, giving us the line, "Here's Johnny!" There's great suspense in the second act, including the finale, where Jack chases his son outside in a snow-filled labyrinth. The film covers a lot of different themes, from the supernatural to domestic violence and alcoholism. The Shining also leaves its audience with a number of questions whose answers are up for interpretation, such as a certain photograph in the final scene, and a lot of things that make you question exactly what you just saw. Jack Nicholson gives a terrific and amazingly crazy performance as Jack Torrance, the writer struggling with his work who becomes nasty and strange after spending more time in the hotel with some of the past guests who want him to do their bidding. Shelley Duvall as Wendy Torrance, Jack's wife who slowly becomes terrified at the way her husband has been acting. Danny Lloyd as Danny, Jack and Wendy's young son who has psychic abilities or a shine to see the spirits and visions around the hotel, and Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran, the chef of the hotel who also has a shine and tells Danny about the good and the bad of the hotel. While the movie didn't earn any Oscar nominations, it surprisingly did receive a couple Razzie nominations. One for Duvall as Worst Actress, and one for Kubrick for Worst Director. The film did get a great achievement in 2018 as it entered the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. There was also a sequel released in 2019, also based off of a Stephen King novel, Dr. Sleep, that saw Ewan McGregor play the role of an older Danny Torrance, which was pretty great as well. The Shining has become an influential, frightening, and unforgettable masterpiece that's one of the best horror films of all time. Number-wise, I'm going to give it, get that drum roll ready, it gets a 10 out of 10, which gives it the A-list rating of A-list approved. That's right, it gets the A-list seal of approval. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/westtroupealist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at WesAlist. Until next time, Troop out.